Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany. Thank you for joining me today. Whenever you're watching, I hope it's a great day for you. So I'm doing a little bit of a different video today. Hopefully you like it, and if not, then if that's cool too. So you may have heard of a series out on Amazon called Upload, and it's behind me if you want to check it out if you have not already. But I'm mainly going to be talking about the kind of technical aspects of it. We'll try to keep it as technical as I can right now. But basically, the movie is about, after you die. A lot of people, some people believe in heaven, as myself. Other people believe in other things, and that's cool too. But this movie in particular is about having a digital afterlife. So if you're able to what they call upload as you are leaving this earth, then you can have the option to upload if it's presented to you. And basically what happens when you upload is, your mind and your thoughts and your yourself, your soul, I think that's what they're called. Your soul gets transported to a digital afterlife, and it's an interesting thought. So in the series, there's lots of like technology involved. And spoiler alert for anybody who has not watched it. So I'll probably be talking about some things that are spoilers. So please stop this and rewatch it later if you are interested in not hearing about the spoilers that I have ahead. But one of the things is kind of that we're introduced to is self-driving cars, and it's an interesting concept, and people may have mentioned it before, like, oh, they're gonna have self-driving cars or flying cars or whatever the case may be, and this is all pure speculation. But for me, I don't like it. I'm like, listen, no. Have you ever just had your computer just kind of wig out like that? I don't want my car to just wig out, and then no, nobody has time for that. Like, what's happening? So that's part of it. They've got self-driving cars, which I think is insane, but who knows? It could be a possibility in the future. We don't really know. And that's actually how this the main character that we are following through, that is how he dies. So he dies via driving a self-driving car that kind of wigged out and went a little crazy, and it kind of slammed into another car, and then he got rushed to the hospital, and he came to like a crossroad, literally a fork in the road at the hospital. It's like, do we want to repair yourself and maybe you'll stay alive, or do you want to be automatically uploaded? And so at the last minute, he decides to be uploaded, and it's like, what are you doing? So fast forward to getting into this digital life, and let me just tell you, there's a lot of artificial intelligence happening here. You got robots. This main person that is kind of servicing digital afterlife is like a bellhop, and he's got like a bellhop uniform going on, but he's times a million, so he can be in a ton of places at many times, and he could help you with this, and sometimes he'll come and check on you and see how you're doing. It's just interesting. The whole thing is just weird, but like the idea of having concierge like in the afterlife, it's like, what are we doing here? So I thought the whole thing was just interesting. It was enough to keep my attention, so obviously they're doing something right. But it was just a lot of technology, and they can literally call people from back on Earth. So think of it, you're dead, but you could still have contact with people from the Earth as long as you have enough money, so to speak, on your prepaid plan to make phone calls. And I'll get to that part in a little bit, but basically the phone is on your hand, so you kind of open your hand up, and then a phone appears in this space. So a phone appears here, and then you can talk to people. You could video chat with your loved ones, so to speak. And then it's kind of interesting. Like, I like that. I thought that was pretty cool, how you could like open your hand and be like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? Because, you know, people have their phone at their fingertips anyway, so may as well. It's so interesting to me. I don't know. There's some parts of it that are cool like that. And there's also, like, people are painting canvases, but they're not really using paint brushes. Of course, the scenery outside is always clear and sunny unless you want to change it by a button. So if you're trying to, so to speak, paint a scenery, you can, so to speak, just like cut out something that you would like to see on the canvas and like move it over to the canvas, basically with your finger. And then, you know, it's like, oh, look at this great thing I've painted. It's a portrait. And it's like, what is happening? It's definitely no painting with a twist. And if anybody knows what painting with a twist is, it's a place you go and you, with friends, and they give you like a canvas and you could paint like a picture and have fun. Anyways, getting a little off topic there, but the point is, there's things like that. There's basically, this whole thing is like your dream life, afterlife, if you want to call it that. It's interesting because you know, the digital aspect of it, and the fact that you are given an angel, and this angel can appear next to you, but it's actually somebody that's still on earth that is your angel. And so they're speaking to you, and you know, hey, if they see you're down, or if you're in the afterlife and you say, hey angel, they'll pop up, and then they could pretty much grant you wishes. So there's that. But it's interesting. So the technology that the angels are using in order to kind of pop up in these different places is VR. So they got like the VR goggles on, and they're like popping up, and you know, they're using some of them have like, you know, they have different things that they could use, but there's a scene where one of the angels puts on gloves and she's able to touch the person in the afterlife, and they get a sense of touch, and it's just so interesting. So those things are really I don't know what the word to use. It's mind-boggling to know that those things exist. On the flip side of that, there are people that they call the 2 gigs, and they get 2 gigs of data for a month. And basically with that 2 gigs of data, everything they do, like even taking a breath, like maybe coughing and laughing, like everything uses up the amount of data that you have. And so once you're out of that 2 gigs of data, like it's done. Like you're frozen. They literally freeze you until the next month when you can have 2 more gigs of data. But it's a sad world down there. And I feel like that would be the reality for most people who aren't able to afford this lovely life that's kind of several floors above them, where they have this oasis of, they have their own rooms, and all their rooms have, you know, all this technology equipped, and there's, you know, like there's someone servicing you throughout your whole trip, and so there's a lot of CGI stuff going on as well. The entire thing is just very interesting to see. So if you have not, and you know, you're looking at this and now you're like, well, maybe I will check it out, or whatever the case may be, just, it's interesting. So the whole thought process, it really lets you think about all the things that technology is capable of doing. Like, if you didn't know already, like, technology is capable of so many amazing things, and it's able to solve a lot of problems. But for me, I'm like, I don't know if this is one of the things that I really want solved by technology. What's also very interesting is the main character who is sent to this digital afterlife. He was once a coder, so in his living life he was a coder, and so at some point in the series, he's able to get the code for the digital afterlife. Like all of that, he has access to the code, and he changes like the color of his table just, with code as he's sitting, in his bed. He's just, kind of messing with stuff, and he can make things stop and start things and, rearrange the way something looks or whatever the case may be. But he's given that code, so hopefully he can help out the people that are 2 gigs. So those people that only get 2 gigs of data, which is not very pleasant, and it doesn't really amount to much either. There's also scenes where, there's a scene where, they're checking out different afterlives. The one that he's at is like the most largest one. It's the most prestigious one, I guess you could say. And then he's, his mom's trying to move him to a different one. And basically they're in this man's office, and he's like, oh yes, what about this one? And the room kind of goes dark, and it has like a whole screen, and imagine like you're sitting in like a movie. So that's kind of what it turns to. And it's got like this one particular scene had like giraffes kind of running around and stuff like that. So the whole thing is, I feel like they got into a room and they were like, okay, what would you like to see, like if you can live after you die, and what would it include? And I feel like everybody just threw in ideas, and this is what came up with it. And I can't say that I'm mad at it. Like, I enjoyed watching it. So hopefully you enjoyed watching it too. But I just thought I'd come on here real quick and kind of talk about the technology that was presented in that movie, and kind of give you, hopefully inspire you. Like, there's things that were presented in the movie. I talked, like I said, changing colors of stuff, and maybe changing a style of how something looks, or maybe just rearranging the way something works. Like, hey, how can we give more memory to these people that actually they want to live too? Like, they want to live after life as well, but they just don't have the means to do it. So how do we change that? And so I think it's important because it shows you the possibilities that you can do and make through code. So hopefully that inspires you to make and create something. So get out there, find something, change the world one piece of code at a time. And I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for joining me and watching this video and kind of partaking in my journey of like this movie. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the movie. If you want to talk about it more, hit me up in the comments below, and let's talk about some stuff that I may have missed, as far as technology pieces I may have missed, or just anything else about the movie you want to chat about. Let's chat about it below, and I will see you in the next one. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye.